Look at all of these social media posts, all of them filled with multiple reasons why Surrey is such a terrible place to live. You hear things like, Surrey is a ghetto. Surrey is where dreams go to die. Nobody with options chooses to live in Surrey. These are real comments that I found online, and they're brutal, right? But they're not uncommon.
In fact, if you spend any time on the Reddit threads, Facebook groups, or YouTube comments section talking about cities in British Columbia, you've probably seen people go hard on Surrey.
But here's the thing, what if most of it isn't actually true?
In this video, I'm going to break down the biggest misconceptions about Surrey, the ones that people love to shout about online, and compare them to what's actually happening on the ground. We're going to talk about things like crime, overrun infrastructure, housing, the city's future, and yes, we're going to even talk about diversity too, because let's be honest, that's what a lot of people are really dancing around when they say that they don't like Surrey.
If you're someone who's ruled out living here based on what you've heard, stick around. And by the end of this video, you might walk away seeing Surrey just a little bit differently. I've been helping people buy and sell homes all over Surrey since 2007, and I've heard it all. Real legitimate concerns, at least in the minds of the people who are asking, who are truly concerned about the rumors and the seemingly popular whispers about the city of Surrey. Now, if you're here to pile onto the stereotypes and the myths, then this video is not for you. But if you're truly interested in learning the line between what is true, for better or for worse, and what is not true, then this video is for you. Our real estate team, well, we help people just like you every single day buy or sell homes in this community. So if you're interested in having a conversation with me and my team, be sure to check out the link below to book a call to speak directly with me.
Only get one chance to buy or sell your next home. Let's get it right.
Now let's get into it, starting with how safe Surrey really is. The first thing that people love to bring up is the fact that Surrey is known for crime, and maybe rightly so. The Surrey 6 murders in 2007 were absolutely horrific and left a permanent scar on the city's image. News outlets, in fact, still bring it up. If you type Surrey crime into Google, it's wall-to-wall coverage of crime, domestic disputes, and gang violence. That's what the news shows and the tweets read, but what do the numbers actually say? According to Stats Canada in 2024, Surrey's Crime Severity Index, which is a metric used to measure the seriousness of police-reported crimes in Canada, well, Surrey does have its share of non-violent crime when comparing to other areas of the province. But what is surprising, however, is that Surrey's CSI number is actually lower than Vancouver's for violent crime rates. It's also basically identical to the rest of the Lower Mainland as a whole. That might stop you in your tracks. It doesn't really stick out like you might have heard. The RCMP's 2024 third quarter report, which is the most recently published version available, showed that violent crime in Surrey dropped by 9% year over year. Property crimes fell by 4%, including big reductions in break-ins and auto theft. So while media headlines keep recycling the same fear-based stories, what's happening on the streets is changing, and it's changing fast. Now, this doesn't mean that there's no crime. Of course there's crime. There's crime in every city. Every city has its issues. And as one student put it in a recent interview I read, some parts of Surrey, like all around the Surrey Central Station, they feel sketchy at night. But that's not the whole city. That nuance rarely makes it into a tweet or a news story. Even the RCMP has acknowledged that there is gang violence here, but they've also been clear, it's almost entirely between people who know each other. These aren't random attacks on strangers in broad daylight. It's targeted, internal, and unfortunately the media loves to magnify it because fear drives clicks. And if you compare Surrey to cities like Edmonton or Winnipeg, or even to cities like Vancouver or other cities in British Columbia, the numbers look pretty great in Surrey, but somehow the stigma sticks harder to Surrey. So why is this? Well, it's the perception, it's the repetition, it's the headlines. It's like judging a person by their worst moment over and over again, even after they've moved on. So if crime is supposedly so bad, or maybe not really so much, why are so many people still moving here? Well, here's the reality. Surrey is growing faster than almost any other city in British Columbia. BC Stats projects it'll hit over 1 million people by 2046, and some forecasts suggest that Surrey could actually surpass Vancouver as the province's most populated city by the year 2029. That's less than 5 years from the time that I'm recording this video. So why the rush of people? Because despite what the internet says, people, they vote with their feet, and right now they're walking straight into Surrey. Affordability, of course, plays a huge role in this. The benchmark home price in Surrey is about $1 million cheaper than that compared to that of Vancouver. It's simply night and day. And Surrey also gives you choice. Townhomes in Clayton, single family homes in Panorama, luxury builds in South Surrey. There's something for almost every stage of life. We've got tons of resources on this sort of thing on our YouTube channel about the various areas in Surrey and what they offer, so be sure to check them out after this video. And also, if you're considering making a move this year, you're gonna wanna grab a copy of our 21 grants and incentives download that's available in the video description as well. So you can take advantage of each and every opportunity to keep more of your hard-earned money when you're buying a home. So Surrey is growing and growing fast. Of course, this kind of growth doesn't come without pain, especially on the infrastructure. That's where you would have heard about the troubles for families, healthcare, and just even getting around town. So let's take schools. As of 2024, an overwhelming portion and majority of Surrey's 124 schools are over capacity. This fall, they've had to stagger start times just to make room, and there are multiple schools in the municipality that are completely refusing to take on any new students, even those that are within their catchment boundaries. Let's also talk about healthcare. Most of Surrey is still served by one major facility. That's Surrey Memorial Hospital. And while we have the Peace Arch Hospital in White Rock that supports the South Surrey area, that's not nearly enough. The good news is that there's a new hospital and it's coming to Cloverdale, and that should help ease the pressure. But again, growth is outpacing the build out. Transportation, it's getting a boost too. The SkyTrain extension is expected to open in 2029, connecting more neighborhoods and making it easier to commute across the region. That's already changing the housing markets that are near these upcoming transit hubs, while we're also seeing a downtown core begin to emerge in the city center. So it's not just suburban sprawl anymore. More businesses, more jobs, more people working closer to home. So yes, there are traffic jams. Yes, it takes time. But what is real is that there's a city being built right now, not a collection of subdivisions. Surrey is getting structure, it's getting density and identity all in real time. It's not just about infrastructure. There's an energy shift happening too. For a long time, Surrey was considered a bedroom community, a place where you sleep, not a place where you live, but that's changing. The city's investing in public art, libraries, rec centers, and cultural spaces. There are more festivals than ever, more food trucks, more music, more pride. We're starting to see local pride from around the neighborhoods like Guildford, Cloverdale, and Crescent Beach. People aren't just living here because it's cheaper, they're living here because they want to. The younger generation sees Surrey differently. They're not clinging to the old headlines. They're building something new here. But now it's time to talk about the elephant in the room. And it's a big elephant. When people say things like Surrey isn't diverse, what they often mean is there are too many people that don't look like me. Let's call it what it is. This reveals a lot more about the person making the comment than it does about Surrey itself. And as a lesson learned, we've decided to keep the comments turned off for this video. The goal of this video is to share perspective and challenge the misconceptions about Surrey, not to give hate or discrimination any airtime. So please be kind to each other, folks. Surrey is home to well over 200,000 South Asian residents, according to the 2021 census. And that number is growing, but they're not the only community here. Surrey also has large Filipino, Chinese, Black, and Middle Eastern populations. Over 250,000 residents are immigrants in Surrey, many of them arriving in the last 10 years. So is it diverse? Well, absolutely it is, but just not in the sanitized, picture-perfect way that some people are comfortable with. And here's the kicker. This diversity is a strength, not a weakness. You can find some of the best food in the entire Lower Mainland in Surrey, and it's not just curated for tourists. There are the spots the locals go, South Asian grocers, Filipino bakeries, Chinese noodle shops, Afghan kebab houses, all within blocks of each other. Schools recognize multiple cultural holidays. Temples, churches, and mosques don't just serve as places of worship, but of pillars of the community. Business owners from every background employ people from all walks of life. Then there are the events like the Vaisakhi Parade, drawing over 200,000 people each year, making it one of the largest outside of India. The Fusion Festival brings dozens of cultures together for food, music, and celebration. These aren't fringe activities, they are the heartbeat of the city. When people say Surrey doesn't feel like the rest of BC, that's because they're right. It doesn't. It feels like the future of BC. And let's try to keep an open mind when discussing this. If you expect people to fit into your perspective of how one should live, look, or act, imagine how the people being judged must feel. Let's open our minds more to those that are different than us and accept all the great things that come from living in a thriving, diverse community where everyone feels valued. So, is it time to rethink the narrative about Surrey? Surrey isn't perfect. No city is, but the hate that it gets, it doesn't match the reality. I remember walking through Green Timbers one evening. There was kids laughing, neighbors chatting on their porches, a dad teaching his kid to ride a bike on a trail. That's the Surrey that most people don't see, and the one that rarely shows up in a headline. The city is changing fast. The people here, they see it. The people investing here see it. The only ones who don't are the ones that are still holding on to a decade-old image of what this place used to be. So if you've written off Surrey because of what you've heard, I challenge you to come see it for yourself. You might just find that everything you've been looking for in the city everyone loves to hate. And for those of you that are considering moving here, Surrey is huge. You'd be interested to know that there's areas that are in very high demand, and not because of anything more than the incredible value and the lifestyle that they offer. This is why, lucky for you, that the video coming up next is all about the most in-demand areas in the entire municipality of Surrey, the ones where everybody wants to live, and the ones where properties just like the one that you might be interested in are getting snapped up every single day. That video is coming up next, so I'll see you over there right now.
You've heard all about Surrey, British Columbia. You know that it is relatively affordable in comparison to the other areas in the lower mainland of BC. You know it's growing incredibly fast. You probably know that it's the city of parks, and it's also being dubbed the city of the future. The big question for you in this video, though, is where to call home in Surrey.